Hey guys, this video we're going to be taking a look at the time-space junction mode and why I think it's a trap for most free-to-play and low-spender players. And of course, if you're really far into the game, you can probably clear this. I'm not saying it's not clearable, but I don't think for most people this should be the goal. So as you can see, I did clear it. This was like my 4th or 5th run. I was at work yesterday and then I was like, I'll just try this when I get home. So I did, and then I was able to beat it. But the reason, I'll give you a few reasons that I think you should not focus on this and do what else that is important. And so to help you understand, think of Mount Everest, right? And let's say you're a climber and you're trying to get up to the top of Mount Everest. But do you do the safest way or do you go the fastest way? Now, the fastest way you can get there, not that you can't, but it carries risk. So the same thing applies here. The time-space junction, if you really want to, you can go all in and you can beat this. Like, I'm not saying you can't. That's not the issue. The issue is it focuses players to look at the wrong thing or look for the wrong thing. And what I mean by that is with Escanor coming out, right? And he is a very dominant unit. There's just no denying it. Without him, you're going to have a pretty hard time beating Galland or what is it? The Frozen Mines Abyss, especially the Abyss Mines. If you don't have like Drake or something, you'll have a really hard time. So, of course, they wanted to make something again that people would summon on, and the time-space junction, would you look at that, one of the weaknesses is fire. And so they want you to summon an Escanor, which is fine. He's a very good unit. I'm not saying he's not. But if you're saving for somebody, then you might feel a little bit obligated or pulled to summon for Escanor, even though you don't have to. The reason I say you don't have to is because there will be more units in the future, right? Whether it be darkness or fire or whatever weaknesses the bosses have. The next unit is going to be Clotho with probably wind and ice. And if you summon on heart, you're pretty much covered on like all the elements in the game, except maybe Drake. There will probably be better units than Drake in the future. And so the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a team, if you have Meliodas, if you have Escanor, of course you'll have a much easier time trying to beat this. But if you don't, I would recommend don't focus on that mode so you don't feel pressured to pull for more Meliodases or Escanors. So you can beat it with potential for Escanor, but again, still it's potential for Escanor. And for Meliodas, you need a potential 5. I don't know how many people are going to be able to do it with potential 4. It could be doable, again, with potential 4. I'm just saying it is really difficult. So that's that for the first point. The second point is, so I'll show you really quickly. We have the remnant of the rift right here. And as you can see, you can't really see here, I'll show you in my inventory, we have crafted a few of those. So if you see here, we have crafted 4 of these. And so what you want to do is hold on to them, is because the developers during their Q&A, and if you haven't seen it, I'll link it at the end of the video, but in their Q&A, they talked about how they want to make it easier to get passive levels and as well as substat levels to something that you really want, because right now it's all RNG, right? So they want to make it easier, and Remnant of the Rift is one way they'll probably do that. It's a legendary item, so less likely that we're going to see a new rarity of an item. It's probably going to be the Remnants just reworked, and so I would recommend holding on to that. Don't chase. I'll show you my Escanor, okay? So let's go look at his gear. So as you can see, I have a level 118 with a level 1 passive, so it's pretty trash, right? I mean, the buffs on the engraving bonus, they're pretty nice. But I would not reroll this anyway. Like, I never reroll engraved sets because I think they're a waste of platinum. Every set I've made, I've only kept 1 of. And so if we go here, I have a good amount of platinum right now. We're sitting on, let's see, 61. I don't know what I'm holding on to these for, but there's no reason for me to like craft a different sets, because again, it's all RNG, right? You could spend 25 platinum to try and get a better earpiece because you think it'll help you clear the time-space junction, and then it turns out to just be trash. Something else I would say, just hold on to, don't use them, just stack them up. It's not like they're going to nerf the item. If anything, they'll buff it. So that's the second thing. The third thing is also stop making engraved sets that you don't need. So this is partly obviously remaking sets that you already have, and then you're making sets that you don't need right now. The reason I say this is because, again, they're looking into ways where you can get a passive that you actually can use. So let's say on Escanor, you will have an opportunity in the future, just I don't know when, this is something they're working on, to change the passive level using additional gear pieces. So maybe you can use multiple of one type. So if I go to my inventory, I have, I think 8 of these. Let's go see. Yeah, as you can see, I have 8 and I have 8 belts. So I'm holding on to them. I know it's very kind of disappointing. You have to do this to actually kind of make use of everything. But currently, until June or July, is a very downtime-ish period. So you don't want to be investing too much into anything because things can change. Better off holding on to things rather than trying to rush clear things, because the abyss difficulty, they're going to be here. But the time space mode junction, like, you still have so much time. Me making content, obviously I understand there's some sort of pressure to maybe try and clear it, but for you guys there's no reason to try and rush to clear it because the rewards are still going to be there months later, right? So again, hold on to those gear pieces. I think we have gear improvements coming. I don't know if it's going to be the next update or the update after that, but I'm sure you would rather not regret using up your gear pieces and then turns out we could have used them for something else, and then you're just going to be upset or disappointed. Anybody would be, right? So, and then the third thing is actually saving your keys. So I know I keep saying in different videos and stuff that you need to save your keys, but you really do need to save them. And the reason I say that is because next update, version 1.3, we're going to have Spider Dungeon Abyss. And I'm not sure, but I think they will add new gear to it. So the same way Furs and Mines got some new gear in there, I don't know if it's going to be a full new Engraved set. I doubt that, like Gallant has when you get his Abyss difficulty. So if you want to save for that, go ahead and do so. I'll show you myself that I'm not just talking hocus pocus. Let me show you. So we have 600 large cube key bundles. Obviously, I pay for the game a little bit here and there, so I have more. But whatever you guys have, if you take a look here, we have 120 and then 500 more. So I'm sitting at around 1,200 keys, and then I'm going to convert these because I really don't need to use them right now. The gear system sucks. They know they're going to make improvements, and so the keys that you're using right now, except to get stuff that you really need, is completely wasted. And then these, if you're pay to win, just buy them the day before the update, hold on to them in your meal, and then you can pick them up when the update drops. So that's what I'll do. Yeah, so outside of the gear pieces you need, don't make anything right now. I know that you probably do need the star fragments, everybody does. But again, this is just going to be kind of wasted. And you could have wished, or you would wish, you would have wished that you held on to them. So now you can make better pieces with better passives and engraved substats. So anyway, then another thing is that, let me show you guys, okay? If I go over to the TIMESPACE Junction, you may or may not have noticed this already, but we have all the way until August 26th, okay? That's 4 months to do 6 floors. Now, obviously people are clearing this with 2 minutes or so already. And then sector 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think they're going to get more difficult as time goes on. So we could be looking at 90,000 combat class if they want to make it harder. I don't think it'll go higher than that, but yeah. I think it'll be 90,000 up to sector 6, and then we would be trying to clear it again for 2 minutes. I don't know how many people are going to be able to do that realistically, but, you know, we have a lot of time to go ahead and prepare for this mode. So this mode should not be like a blind spot. Just because it's new doesn't mean you have to try and clear it. You have so much time, and I'm sure as a free-to-play or low spender, this is something you probably will struggle with, and I just don't want you to be discouraged when, you know, you have difficulty with this mode. That's the normal thing. Content creators, you know, we play the game a lot, and some of us spend money, and it makes things a lot easier rather than you guys who are free-to-play or spending less money. And then moving on, I just personally do not like this mode that much. I think it kind of incentivizes the wrong things. I know, obviously, like, big games have these kinds of modes. It's not the issue. I just don't like the execution as much because, of course, you need, for the first floor, you need the best DPSs that came out that you need to summon for. And you can use Elaine, you can use Drake, but they're not going to be as effective as the 2 new DPS, right? So just something to think about. If you don't spend money on this game, good for you. I would recommend not spending just because they need to get their stuff together. and then maybe consider spending then. And if you made it this far into the video, let me know if you tried the new mode, what you think about it. Are you excited? Are you nervous? You just don't like it? Let me know. And if you made it all the way to the end, I would really appreciate it if you could consider subscribing. That would mean a lot. And you can always unsubscribe later. It's completely free. And if you want to watch my video on how I used just Escanor to clear Abyss difficulty mines and the Gallant fight, then I'll leave them up on the screen. Go ahead and take a look. Until next time.